everyone, and welcome to the finale of What If Tony Stark Was in the Bayverse. So without further ado, let's get right on to it. So this part starts off with Barricade driving into an abandoned building, responding to a distress call from an unknown signal. He transforms looking around. That is until he sees Galvatron. Barricade gets defensive and asks, "Who in the Allspark are you?" "It is I, Barricade, your leader, Lord Megatron, but you are rumored to be killed. How is this possible?" "It's a long story, but call me Galvatron now." "Of course, Lord Galvatron. What have you been up to lately, soldier?" "I have been monitoring our enemies incognito." "Excellent. We shall gather the remaining Decepticon forces and destroy all of our enemies once and for all." We now cut to Stark Tower, but it is now known as Autobot Tower. The Autobots and Tony Stark's new shared base. A really advanced base with mix of both Stark technology and Cybertronian technology, with a full-on working ground bridge just like in TFP. So we cut to Optimus and Ratchet in the command center. "How's the base holding up, Ratchet?" "Autobot Tower is running at full 100% capacity, Optimus." "Good." We then see Iron Man landing onto the launch pad of Autobot Tower and taking off his suit, then walking up to Optimus and Ratchet in the command center. "Hey Prime, how was your mission, Tony?" I couldn't find any trace of any more rogue Decepticons." "They must be hiding themselves somehow." "Ratchet, check on Drift and Crosshairs in the prison centers." "Affirmative, Optimus." We now cut the Drift and Crosshairs in the maximum security prisons right below Autobot Towers. "Everything's running really well down here, Prime. The prisoners are behaving pretty well." "Indeed, there has been no ruckus." "What of the new recruits?" We then see the Dinobots walking through different corridors of the prison, keeping an eye on the prisoners. "The Dinobots are too big for these corridors, Prime. But they're doing well." "Excellent. Once we gather all the remaining Decepticons, we will leave to Cybertron and find a way to restore our home." "Optimus, you can go. We can handle things here." "Are you sure, Ratchet?" Tony then says, "Yeah, Prime. I'm pretty sure we all got this here. You could go to Cybertron, find something, and then report back to us." "Very well." Optimus then departs for Cybertron with his jetpack from Dark of the Moon. Optimus and Ratchet then look at each other. "Well, guess it's just you and me, huh, Doc?" Ratchet then says, "Indeed. Now we must get to work in locating the remaining Decepticons." "I'll give you a hand." Tony then activates his Stark satellites and boosts it up to Ratchet's sensors. "Let's get to work, buddy." They then pick up Barricade signal. They send in Sideswipe and Dino to retrieve Barricade. Fun fact, Barricade doesn't put up much of a fight for some reason, and they actually take him in pretty swiftly. So, yeah, he's taken back to Autobot Tower in the prison cells. He's put into prison cells. Crosshairs then says, "Talk, Barricade. We know you were communicating with somebody. Tell us, who is he?" Barricade then grins. We then see Galvatron with his Transformium ability coming into the prison cells through the air vents and appearing right behind Crosshairs and Drift and stabbing them both in the back, killing them. Galvatron then opens the cells, releasing his Decepticons. The Decepticons look at Galvatron. "Who in the Allspark are you?" That's when Barricade says, Guys, this is Lord Megatron. Call me Galvatron now." The Decepticons then look at each other, then look at Barricade. "Oh, hail Galvatron!" The Dinobots then come rushing in, with Galvatron immediately swooping into action, using his nanotech's parts to push the Dinobots into prison cells with barricade closing them in. Decepticons, destroy every last Autobot in the space. Yes, the alarms are ringing, if you guys are wondering. So all of these Autobots, including Iron Man, immediately swing into action to head for the prison cells to try to contain the Decepticons. So yeah, they get to each other, and both sides start shooting at each other. Galvatron says to his side, I have one more thing to do. Stay here and wait for my call for retreat. And Galvatron leaves. So Tony follows Galvatron, and we get to a vault where we see Galvatron using his nanotech ability to go in through the little cracks of the vault all simultaneously. Then Tony goes up, opens it, and then sees Galvatron holding the seed. Yeah, we could say that it was in part 4, but it was never really used. But here it's gonna be used in the story. So yeah, they get eye contact. And Galvatron says, Tony Stark. What a pleasure it is to meet you again. Save all of that, Megatron. He then says, call me Galvatron now. Tony's like, okay. Why? Because I am reborn. Thus, I need a new name. Tony then aims up his repulsors. I don't care. Then he shoots at Galvatron, but Galvatron uses his nanotech ability to swoosh by Tony, transforms and drives off. He then tells his Decepticon team to meet him at the space bridge immediately. Galvatron then types some coordinates, then tells his Decepticons to move. The Decepticons head through the space bridge. That's when the Autobots run in, see Galvatron. Then Galvatron looks back at them, runs through the space bridge, and unleashes a little nanotech thing, destroying the controls to the ground bridge. And then the nanotech blasts through the ceiling, going to wherever they ground bridged off to. Tony and the Autobots then use Stark satellites to track where the Decepticons went off to. And soon enough, they find them at the Stonehenge. And they call in some help. The Dinobots. Sam and Michaela and Bumblebee come to help, as well as Hot Rod, who's with Bumblebee now, because they have a friendship in the Bayverse. And I'd say Sam and Michaela do have an arsenal of Cybertronian weapons like how Cade did in the Bayverse. And Sam still has his Mark V armor, given to him by Tony. They try to get in contact with Optimus, but no luck. So they have to do this themselves and end this war once and for all. So yeah, they head to the Stonehenge to confront Galvatron and his crew. And I could actually see the Wreckers making a few kills. Onslaught, Mohawk, and Dreadbot. Galvatron gets rageful and runs towards Iron Man. With fun fact, Iron Man's armor is made out of nanotech. So when Megatron hits him, he uses his nanotech to make a shield. Galvatron then says, what? But how? How do you have this? Tony then says, well, you shouldn't have let your drones' bodies lying around for me to study them. I couldn't itch the feeling to study and make new suits out of it. They then start fighting, using both their nanotech transformium abilities. This battle waging on, back and forth, punches, blasts, fists, everything. Everything you could think of. During the fight, Jarvis says, Sir, something has entered the upper atmosphere. Both sides then look up. They see a ship land down. And down comes a figure. It's Optimus, but he looks different. Galvatron and his crew are like, Optimus? Galvatron then tells his crew to remain here while he goes up to the ship to greet our ally. Iron Man, Ratchet, and Bumblebee go to Optimus. Optimus, you're back? But then Optimus, or Nemesis, whatever you guys want to call him, Nemesis, yeah, whatever. Nemesis grabs Ratchet, throwing him into the ground. Iron Man and Bumblebee are like, wait, Optimus, what are you doing? Optimus then grabs Bumblebee. I am Nemesis Prime. You are nothing. With there being a similar battle to how there was in the last night. Optimus versus Bumblebee, and with Tony there on the side, trying to reason with Optimus. And the same thing happens where he pins Bumblebee to the floor. Tony, Prime, no! Ching! I'm Bumblebee, your oldest friend. Optimus, I would lay down my life for you. Optimus is like, Bumblebee, your voice. I have not heard it in eons. Ratchet gets up, he's perfectly fine. And Tony says, yeah, I kinda fixed it up for him a while back before he left with Sam. And Optimus was like, why did you not tell me? Well, there was a lot of stuff going on at the time. See this and that. That is when Optimus looks up at Quintessa's ship. Quintessa, we must deal with her. He, Ratchet, Tony, and Bumblebee go up to the ship and confront him. And a similar battle takes place in the ship where he encounters Galvatron. We were brothers once, Prime. Once. And then he kicks him out of the ship. So they fight Quintessa with a 4-team versus Quintessa. Say hello to my friends. And then from behind, she is shot by both Tony and Bumblebee. Tony and Bumblebee give each other a fist bump. And just like in canon, the ship falls with all of the characters evacuating. Optimus and his allies all gather together. You have all fought valiantly, and thank you for freeing me. Optimus then looks down and sees the seed. We may use this to help boost and rebuild our planet together. He then presses a button which autopilots Lockdown's ship to come over to their location. We see the Autobots slowly board the ship, with Bumblebee and Ratchet saying their goodbyes to Michaela, Sam, and Tony. We now get to Optimus and Tony. Well, my friends, this is where we part ways. Hey, we're not gonna be separated forever. I'll still pop by on your planet from time to time. Of course, you are always welcome on Cybertron. But we will rebuild and repopulate our world with life. And your people must rebuild all damaged battlegrounds of Autobots and Decepticons that took place on this planet. We will, Prime. He then steps to say goodbye to Sam and Michaela, and then he walks up to the ship, looks back, waves goodbye, and the ship leaves to Cybertron. Sam and Michaela go back to living their lives. Tony Stark makes the decision to keep being Iron Man for as long as he lives. One thing anyone will never take away from me, I am Iron Man. And that is the story of what if Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, was in the Bayverse. Now, I thank you guys for the love and support on this What If got, and I'll see you guys in the next story.